Stop scrolling right now. If you think you've already seen everything from Jikook's previous dance performances, you're absolutely wrong. Their newest dance video just dropped, and the global fan reaction is exploding. On the Jikook Lover channel, we're going to break down every move, every glance, every moment of synchronization that fans are calling God level. But before we begin, hit like right now, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe because you won't find analysis like this anywhere else. One big question remains. Is this just a dance, or did they leave a hidden message on purpose? The internet is never truly quiet, but there are certain moments when the timeline feels like it's been hit by a digital earthquake. That's exactly what happened when Jikook's newest dance video appeared with almost no warning. No massive countdown. No long teaser rollout. No excessive promotion. Just a release, followed by an explosion of reactions that swept through the global fan community like wildfire. Within minutes, clips of the performance were being reposted, analyzed frame by frame, slowed down, zoomed in, compared with older performances, and debated intensely. Many viewers said their synchronization this time reached a completely different level. Not just tight, not just precise, but almost as if two bodies were moving with the same center of gravity. Then the question started spreading. How can synchronization at that level even be achieved without extreme training or an unusually deep performance connection? On the surface, the video looks simple. No giant stage. No overwhelming production effects. And that may be exactly why it hits harder. Viewers are forced to focus purely on movement, breath control, timing, and raw energy. The camera doesn't try to steal attention. The editing doesn't try to manipulate emotion. What we see is just two performers and their body language. And that's where the mystery begins to grow. Several online dance observers pointed out that their micro-timing, differences measured in fractions of a second, is nearly undetectable. In choreography, that's rare even among long-time professional partners. Some netizens started wondering whether they were using invisible cues or whether both dancers have reached a point where they instinctively read each other's rhythm. Comment after comment repeated the same feeling. Something feels different this time. Not just powerful, not just clean, but intense. The biggest spotlight falls on the middle section of the choreography, where the tempo suddenly shifts and the movements become sharper, more aggressive, yet still controlled. Many fans admitted replaying that section over and over again. Some said it gave them chills. Others called it a statement performance, as if something unspoken was being expressed through motion. The conversation quickly grew wider. Is this purely technical improvement? A style evolution? Or was it deliberately designed to trigger interpretation? Hashtags climbed. Reaction videos multiplied. Professional dance coaches joined the discussion. They praised the energy control, spatial awareness, and balance between strength and fluidity. But one word appeared again and again: performance chemistry. Performance chemistry is difficult to define but easy to feel. It's not about personal closeness, it's about how two performers align their physical responses to rhythm, pressure, and musical accents. When one moves, the other is already ready, sometimes even before the motion is visible. In this new video, many viewers felt that phenomenon happening repeatedly. What makes it even more intriguing is the timing of the release. Fans were not actively expecting a major dance drop. The surprise factor amplified the impact. Audience psychology plays a role. The unexpected often hits twice as hard as the anticipated. Then new theories emerged. Some fans believe the choreography has symbolic structure, movement patterns that repeat at the beginning and end, forming a loop. They began comparing it with older choreographies, searching for threads, hidden meanings, possible codes. Is that overinterpretation? Maybe. But modern fandom culture thrives on analysis, interpretation, and speculation. And this video provides rich fuel for all three. Interestingly, casual viewers, not just dedicated followers, were also pulled in. Many comments came from people who discovered short clips on their feed, watched the full video out of curiosity, and then replayed it multiple times. Cross-audience pull like this rarely happens without a strong X factor in the performance. Some digital entertainment analysts describe this as the loop magnet effect, when visual rhythm and movement patterns make the brain want to replay for pattern satisfaction. Tight synchronization and sharp dynamic contrast are common triggers. This video clearly has both. But alongside the praise, debate also started to grow. Some say this is their performance peak. Others argue it's only a warm-up for something bigger. A few wonder whether this concept stands alone or is part of a larger, unrevealed sequence. The more questions that appear, the faster the video spreads. One thing becomes undeniable. This is not just another dance release. It has become a fandom event. If movement could speak, this video is not whispering. It is challenging viewers to look closer, watch longer, and question more deeply what they are really seeing. And perhaps the most dangerous question now circulating among fans is this. Is synchronization at this extreme level purely the result of practice, or a sign of a performance connection far deeper than what appears on the surface? As the replay count continued to climb, something else began happening across fan spaces. Slow-motion edits started circulating, and with them came a new wave of interpretation. Viewers began isolating moments measured in milliseconds. A shoulder drop matched at the same beat, a directional shift mirrored without visual confirmation, a weight transfer that lands with identical force. These are details casual viewers might miss, but to trained eyes, they signal a shared internal timing system rather than simple memorization. That detail changed the tone of the discussion. The narrative shifted from great dance video to how is this level of alignment even possible? Dance instructors reacting to the clip noted that synchronization usually breaks under dynamic stress, when choreography transitions from smooth to explosive. Yet in this performance, the hardest transitions looked the most unified. Instead of tightening up, their movement quality expanded. Power didn't reduce precision, it sharpened it. Control didn't slow them down, it amplified the impact. The comment sections became digital arenas of theory. Some argued that this is what happens when two high-level performers train in overlapping styles for years. Their movement instincts begin to converge. Others insisted there was more than training involved, that the responsiveness visible in the clip suggests a reactive awareness, the kind performers develop only when they are deeply tuned to each other's physical cues. What fueled the debate even more was eye focus and directional awareness. In several sequences, they shift orientation without looking at each other, yet they land angles identically. That detail alone triggered hundreds of breakdown threads. Was it peripheral vision mastery, rehearsal memory burned into muscle, or something closer to performance intuition? Meanwhile, the emotional response curve kept rising. Fans reported physical reactions, goosebumps, adrenaline spikes, even tears, not because the choreography was sad or sentimental, but because intensity itself can be emotional when executed at peak form. Performance psychologists sometimes call this kinetic empathy, when viewers feel internal sensation mirroring what they observe physically. The stronger and cleaner the movement, the stronger the viewer's internal echo. That might explain why the video didn't just trend, it lingered. Unlike viral clips that spike and vanish, this one kept regenerating conversation cycles. Every few hours, a new angle, a new zoom, a new slowed segment would re-trigger discussion. Reaction creators returned with second and third analyses after noticing details they missed the first time. The clip became less like content and more like material, something to study rather than just watch. Another layer added fuel to the fire. Contrast with earlier eras. Longtime followers began posting side-by-side comparisons showing how their synchronization style has evolved over time, from energetic parallelism to near-mirror precision. Evolution narratives are powerful in fandom culture. They create storyline momentum, and momentum keeps attention alive. Some observers pointed out that the restraint in facial expression during the most difficult segments actually increased the perceived intensity. Instead of broadcasting effort, they masked it. In stage performance theory, this is often associated with mastery, when execution becomes so internalized that expression becomes minimal while impact becomes maximal. Silence, in this context, reads louder than exaggeration. Speculation then took a sharper turn. A growing segment of fans began wondering whether this choreography was designed not just to impress, but to signal. Not necessarily about personal matters, but artistic direction. Movement motifs repeated with variation. Contact distance changed in structured ways. Entry and exit positions formed geometric symmetry. These are not accidental in professional choreography. Was this simply strong composition or intentional symbolism? No official explanation accompanied the release, which only deepened the intrigue. In the absence of stated meaning, interpretation expands. And when interpretation expands, fandom engagement multiplies. Data trackers noticed something else unusual. Viewer retention remained extremely high even beyond the average drop-off point typical for dance practice videos. That suggests viewers were not just sampling, they were staying. Watching fully. Rewatching immediately. Loop behavior again. The ripple effect spread beyond fan communities into broader performance discussion circles. Dancers from unrelated genres commented on posture discipline. Choreographers praised spacing intelligence. Even music producers commented on how tightly movement accents match sonic texture, rather than just beat counts, a more advanced musicality approach. The story was no longer confined to one fandom lane. It crossed into craft appreciation. Yet with rising praise came rising tension. Whenever a performance is elevated to next-level status, countervoices appear. Some skeptics argued the hype cycle magnified perception. Others said camera angle and lens compression can exaggerate sync. Debate sharpened. Frame comparisons intensified. Ironically, disagreement only increased visibility, because controversy is oxygen for virality. Still, one undeniable pattern remained consistent across praise and skepticism alike. Nobody called it ordinary. And perhaps that is the real threshold marker. In an ecosystem flooded with content, being universally labeled not ordinary is its own kind of victory. What makes this moment particularly fascinating is how it blurs the boundary between technical excellence and emotional projection. Viewers are not just describing what they see, they are describing what they feel it means. That transformation, from observation to interpretation, is where performances become cultural moments rather than just uploads. The longer the discussion continues, the more one possibility keeps resurfacing. This video may not be the climax, it may be a signal flare. Preview. A controlled ignition before something larger. Because seasoned performers rarely peak without purpose. And now the question that refuses to disappear, the one dividing comment sections, analysis videos, and fan debates across platforms, is growing louder instead of fading. Was this release meant simply to showcase elite synchronization, or was it deliberately crafted to make the world notice a new chapter forming right in front of us, one hidden in movement rather than words? If that's true, then we're left with one final, dangerous speculation. Are we witnessing just a powerful dance performance, or the opening move of a bigger artistic message that fans haven't fully decoded yet?